So guys, your champion, Bohdan.
Yo, I'm all greasy. All right, what's up?
The Thunder from Down Under. So first of all, congratulations.
Come Welshie. Thank you. It was a very, very tough match. Like, I didn't read a lot of the cards because Christopher Welsh, my good friend here, gave me the list.
Hello.
I tested 1-to-1. I never actually read it. All I knew was it was a potential pot of greed with a bunch of free aspects to it. So I figured I would search my Conductor, I would play the Conductor, and I would pop it, and it would go to the extra deck, and I'd draw 2 cards. As it worked in testing, of course. So basically, that didn't work out. That was a game I figure I should have won because we both opened fairly bad, but the 1-to-1 would have got me 2 cards deeper, and I figure I probably would have won just off the +1. The game that Elvis scooped, it was like a scenario where if we both knew it was 9,000, I still had game.
Yeah.
But if he picked it up when I said attack for game, because he was just giving off all the telltale signs that he knew it was game, and he was just trying to goad me into making another play, like making up that he had the juggler, right?
Yes.
So I had no idea it was 9k. He didn't have any idea it was 9k.
Yeah, it looked pretty obvious.
There was a lot going at the time, but I still had over 9k damage. So I had 8/8 on board with a damage juggler engraved that I hadn't used damage juggler that turn. So I would have summoned the hat tricker, which I still had in my deck, and I would have killed him.
Yeah, it was very obvious by your body language and stuff. What we heard from the microphone,
Yeah.
they were like just a mix-up.
And then last game, Scolding got me there, which was the very last-minute decision, and it was very good. I saw a few decks play it, a few Cosmo decks play it in one of the Complexity card gaming events in Italy, and I thought this card is probably low-key one of the sleeper cards of the format. Because it hits Cosmo, it hits every deck. And the 3000 life is relevant, but when you're committing a board and you're using it to stop their plays, like Cosmo only has 1 normal summon, it hits pendulums, like every pendulum, when they pendulum summon, and it just like keeps going, right? So worst case is they force it with a Direwolf, in which case you're trading and no card was going to be better. So it's perfect in that sense. You don't have to tribute a monster like Horn of Heaven, which was another card I was playing. But Scolding plays around like Teleport and stuff like that. I don't usually bring it in against Cosmo, but it's just a good generic card that I could see potentially main decking in the future, given how high utility it was in every matchup. Yeah, other than that, not too much. But yeah, Christopher came up with most of the ideas of the deck. If there's anything you guys want to like talk about,
No, he was talking about the entire time.
He was?
He would not shut up.
I love to talk about this deck.
I think the main things that I wasn't too sure on, Doomstar was very good. Very underrated card. I think it's perfect when there's 10 Pepe decks in the top 16,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Because a lot of the time when your hand's weak, you just play an Abductor and maybe you set like an MST or something, right? You're trying to get the Abductor counters and you're trying to like unbrick your hand. Doomstar clears it and it gets a juggler out of your hand. Usually you have to go to battle phase and discard it, and it just kept adding up. Like it's like just such high utility in every scenario where it was good. And Christopher was playing 2 Trick Clown, but I opted for Hat Tricker over the second one. Hindsight would have played 2 Trick Clown, 1 Hat Tricker, because there's a lot of times where you end up burning the Hat Tricker. Yeah, like it's just gone.
One play, right.
I think the only way that you can justify 1/1 or just 1 Trick Clown in general is if you play 3 Instant Fusion, because it gets you access back to the Trick Clown. So that's like the main idea behind it. He was playing 2 instant because there's just a lot of cards you don't want to draw, correct? Like,
Correct. Yeah, you know, you don't ever want to see 2 instants together. It'll kind of break your hand a little bit. And also the extra deck space.
I noticed that was a trend with all the other lists as well. I saw they weren't playing the maximum amount of instant fusions because, you know, turn 1, you don't want your play to be just instant fusion summon Norden and then make a rank 4 with it, because while that is relatively powerful, you know, like it's the same as normal summoning a monster, it's just not ideal. You're not getting the most out of your instant fusion. It could be another card. The other change I made to Welshie's list was I played a 3rd Conductor solely because usually you'll play the Draco Slayer and you'll play the Conductor. You'll pop the Conductor, go to the thing, and then you'll make like a play. So like turn 1 you can make like King of the Pharalymphs or whatever. And then like your scales are essentially locked when you only have 1. Like if you play like the second one. So I figured the 3rd was fine because if it sticks to the board, the next turn I can pop the Conductor, get another one, and then I can play like anything. Yeah, like a plush fire for a combo. Like it just kept going as you play Abductor. So like you sort of want to chain down when you have the Draco Slayer. And ideally I open Draco Slayer fairly often, which is cool. That card's very good.
I hear it. A few questions from the chat. First of all, how good was Doomstar this weekend?
Doomstar was very good.
Absolutely.
A lot of people would just they would play out their combined with Maxi as well. They would play out Draco plus Plushfire and then pop off you would Maxi. which isn't like optimal, but I think with the Doomstar you can justify it because they'll usually stop and they have a board. If they don't have Wavering Eyes, then you can summon the Doomstar, pop the Draco Slayer, and usually make like a rank 4 to clear the Plush Fire, right? So that's like pretty good. It's sort of just combined with every other card, it sort of just felt like it was a good card for the deck, a good normal summon.
It's one of those cards that enables you to make rank 4s without having to pendulum summon. Which is a big thing, and it combos with Plush Fire and really any pendulum in the deck.
It also helps you break your own scale to like get out of like lock scale,
right?
Which is really good.
Absolutely,
and it'll make your bad hands like reasonably better.
Right? Yeah, it gets you can discard dead cards, you know, to replace them for cards in your deck.
Especially with Brilliant Fusion, which did see itself being reasonably dead.
Right, you do, especially with the one guard.
Yeah, we were playing 2-1, which I felt was just strictly perfect. Like, there's no way that you can justify the 2-3, right? Like you can, but I think you have to take like a different approach. Like Elvis was playing
sacrificing
monks.
a lot of stuff, like instant fusions, stuff in the extra deck too. Stardust Dragon, he didn't play Stardust Dragon.
Yeah, Stardust was very good.
I'm actually surprised I didn't see it in the finals at all because of the wavering, but we didn't see wavering at all.
Yeah, I didn't get to make a level. Like I just figured like it was game shot. Like worst case scenario, I think if I know that I'm at 9 and I don't have access to the hat trick against Elvis, the game that he scooped up preemptively, I can justify making some sort of
Stardust Pleiades
Stardust,
kind of play.
yeah, I think like leaning towards that, right? Well, I'd have to. It would be King plus Stardust. His Abductor wouldn't get anything of worth, essentially.
Right.
And we'd go from there. But at the same time as well, if I knew I was on 9 and I didn't have access to the Juggler, I would have popped the Abductor, shuffled the monster back, and it would have also proceeded.
Popped them,
so there were like a lot of variables as well. But yeah, I just didn't want to respect the damage Juggler at that point. I figured I've come this far. It's time to get lucky. The odds were in my favor at that point. Like ideally, starts with 5 cards. Let's say he doesn't draw it, then we're good. Yeah, the other card was Chaos Hunter that I want to talk about. That was really good.
No, okay. Let's be real.
We didn't see it at all, so like I was actually very curious personally.
for good measure. I actually thought it was an inherent summon. I've been testing with it that way for the last 2 weeks, and like round 3 in the tournament, someone comes up to me and is like, "Oh no, it's an effect. You got a special summon it for your hand," and we just stopped using it after that. We couldn't change it to we couldn't activate on a reasoning.
I played against Lex in Swiss yesterday, and I brought the Chaos Hunters in. And if it was an Iron Wall, I probably would have gone undefeated. Instead I had to casually X1-1 it. But
I mean, if it was an inherent summon, it would have been done nuts. Okay,
it would have been good against Cosmo, which was. I'm not sure if it was underrepresented. Oh, sorry, Cosmo?
Cosmo, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's underrepresented as a whole at this event. I guess we'd have to look at the statistics, but I didn't see too many of it. There was one in top 16?
There was two. Three.
I think there were 3. Yeah.
3, okay, yeah, but like in relation to just how many people run it, and it's crazy because it just doesn't do what it does for the price that it is and how like aggressive it is. Like, what was the issue I saw? Like. Against Cosmo, we were hoping like Chaos Hunter, you inherently do it against like the teleport. And they can't tag out the farm girl. That was like perfect. Like it was just like it's 25. They can't beat it. Like reasoning has to hit.
They call reasoning. They call 8, so they have to hit the 7. If they can't, any other thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Drop the Chaos Hunter and they just end the game.
Or they could go for a rank 4 too, but like that's not as
super narrow.
Reasonable.
And if they're doing that, they're losing a lot of cards. They don't commit and resource management to get
beautiful.
That back.
In theory, great. Practice terrible, right?
Yeah, of course. That
brings up another question the chat had. Do you think this deck is actually just the best deck, or was it the best deck for this event? Do you feel?
I think it's the best deck.
I think it's the best deck, but the sort of reach you have between other decks is not as big as it would be in other formats.
Right.
This is the best deck because it does a lot of things, but it's also just not the best deck because it's very weak and susceptible to certain cards.
Of course.
And there's a lot of aggressive decks in the format where they can just end the game very quickly, right? And if you don't get your combos going, or you end the game quickly, which this deck can do frequently, you sort of just create awkward scenarios. And there's still like the sort of paradoxes that you had with Necroz, where there's the option for decks to play cards like Anti-Spell, MSTs coming back into the mix, stuff like that, where it's just adding up, right? And it can just create problems for decks like this. It can be very fragile. Moving forward, though, I think with the new cards, like between the Magicians and between the you know, the OCG style of Pepe, I think it's just way too far ahead in comparison to just everything else. The only thing, like, if Cosmo gets extra support in Bosch, then it's ridiculous. Right. But at this point, it's just relatively weak. It won't do as much as you want it to do. You can still kill your opponent, but you're playing like you can't play the long game. I was testing it and I thought my build was really neat. Like, it had like a decent Pepe matchup, like whatever. But when I played everything else, it was more so like I would end with maybe 3 cards. And by, you know, not by my grace of God. Like, I would just have the 1 destroyer and whatever else, and that just doesn't cut it anymore. Like, hexproof isn't a thing, you know, can't be targeted, it's terrible, like, you can't do anything. You can clear it with Ignis, you can do whatever. You can't play traps, because traps play into, you know, a bunch of the paradoxes. People are playing MST again. Unless you increase the trap line, then you make your deck worse, and it's just a whole thing. So Pepe just is just better in terms of just what the cards do. Cosmo, not really. I think the other sleeper deck is like Inferno, but Inferno also just has its issues. Its inconsistencies.
It loses a lot to itself.
Yeah, more or less, and like not counting.
You have
like
to run cards like Reasoning, which is a high variance card.
Like between Floodgates, it's like everyone playing Iron War, right? It's just not a thing. You shouldn't be able to win a lot of your games. And I played Inferno for San Jose, and I thought it was beautiful. You know, I just kept winning. Oh, okay, Card Fight Vanguard's on stream.
Yeah, we're bringing that up next. So any final words or shout-outs you want to give?
Just shout out to Welshie, shout out to the Lollies for letting me stay. Shout out to everyone that bought stuff from me this trip. Paul Shefflin bought a lot of stuff from me. Good guy. Always makes the trips worthwhile, you know. I just come here and it makes the trips like essentially free. It's great. I love it. But yeah, thank you guys. And shout out to Jim as well for hosting this event. I love it.
Yeah, great guy.
ARGs are the best.
These things are.
Alright, hit that like button.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe. Alright guys, so like we said, we're going to bring Card Fight to you very soon. Just give us a few minutes to set up that match.